Alright, we should be on here. None of this is focused. And I haven't done anything for a while. I'm trying to half make this work, and another thing I'm trying to do too, I really just want to kind of be off the dome here, and I've wanted to be an off the dome person for some time, whatever that means. See, I want some plants in the background because I want them to I don't know, because the old footage was in the garage, which had a lot of interesting things to look at. But change is important. I'm not really into talking about what's been happening. I really just kind of want to talk in general. There's always interesting topics, thinking about the paradoxical nature of movement, living, improving yourself, trying to figure out definitions for what, obviously, to some extent, I think what you think is good for you is contingent on what you define yourself to be. And so, really getting inward and not really looking to so many external things as much as testing the conclusions you're coming to based on the way that you interact with the world. And of course, all I'm doing is explicitly talking about the nature of what living and learning is. And I guess I think by explicitly talking about it and identifying it, I will somehow maybe, it's almost like a wheel that's spinning and then it starts to look like it stops and then it kind of looks like it's spinning in reverse. Or it's almost like, a dog that chases its tail, catches its tail, realizes the tail was attached to it the whole time. So this thing is spinning faster and faster, and just awareness just continues to improve and increase. And you're just, you're aware that you're aware that you're aware that you're aware. And so it's very, very recursive in that nature. And I thought of this other thing not too long ago. It's that everything is trying to get you to realize that everything is trying to get you to realize that everything is trying to get you to realize. Everything is trying to get you to realize that everything is just trying to get you to realize. Realize what? Like nothing in particular. Certainly you could follow, if you wanted to end the line of thought, you could certainly end it somewhere, and that's like, everything is trying to get you to realize one thing or another is certainly a way to get out of that and progress towards seemingly what seems like it's maybe useful in whatever direction you're going. So you can maybe in that sense think about it as, conversation is this just branching out thing that I would like to actually see mapped somehow to some visual thing, since ultimately I think it's just everything is just everything else in a different form. If by somehow we can have a literal, as close to whatever objectively correct thing would be, although I think a lot of this thought is just simply abstract. If everything is so interchangeable in getting to understand everything, then you would expect that maybe it's not completely conducive to actually try to develop a hard-nosed, objectively one-to-one thing to kind of try to understand this. And it's just interesting to talk about, and I guess that this is kind of it, But it certainly doesn't change the fact that if I want to keep doing this and talking to people and continue to try to do whatever it is I'm trying to do, and I think what I'm trying to do is coming out naturally just by virtue of me putting myself out there. So I think the more that I try to actually think about what I'm trying to do and put it in a box, I think there's so many ways to do that I kind of get lost in the details. And so part of me thinks, hey, just open the door. This is opening the door. The act of simply setting myself up to do something like this is the act of opening the door. And me expressing what is happening is the content, is what's coming through it. And if all of that is a metaphor for whatever I'm trying to point to or chase, then beautiful, perfect. And I can enjoy that as well. Well, this was good. I don't want to think this over too much. I don't necessarily want to end now, but I do fear that if I go too off the rails, it's going to be like, all right, you've just already said all that shit. All right. So good, perfect. I enjoyed this. This was a good time, guys. So we'll be back soon. We'll do something else soon.